Andy Snider and wife Beth became partners with his parents of the family farm in Hart right after high school in 1982. In '94, they took over the farm with 60 dairy cows, 130 sows, and 120 acres of cropland. A '96 fire ended the dairy operation. As the '90s came to a close, the farm added turkeys and acreage, then depopulated and expanded to 600 sows. After 20 years of selling wiener pigs, it was time to start a new phase of the operation.
A year ago, February, we finally got to that 30 pigs per sow goal. We ended up and depopulated and signed a new contract to raise great-grandparents for Top Pigs Northston. And we filled the barn up 3 weeks ago with 5 different ages, and I'm going to start breeding those in about 3 weeks. Our farm, we kind of look at it as a 3-legged stool. We do raise crops. We farm about 2,800 acres, a little over 2,000 of corn and soybeans for rotation, but we use the corn for our own feed. Do that farming, and part of that is we manage the wastewater for a local large fruit processor with pivots on several hundred acres with the wastewater. Some of that's year-round. We also have turkeys, so we have the crops, the hogs, and the turkeys. We're part of Michigan Turkey Producers. That's actually the part of our business that we have grown over the last 7 years because the opportunity existed for us to do that.
A remodel of the hog barns was part of the repopulation project. With updated technology, including electronic sow feeders, remote barn controls, and stepped-up biosecurity despite being free of PED and PERS.
My son Zach, he's the youngest of our 3 kids. He and his wife Priscilla, they became full partners 5 years ago. So we're just starting our 6th year at Snider Farms LLC with the 4 of us.
We've worked with the same veterinarian for a long time, and I think he said it well. He said for the last 20 years that our herd has always been one of the highest producing he works with, and I don't think that's by accident. I think that's the detail that my dad's put into it, and all the guys that work here. We have a good team of guys, but most of that comes down to the way that Dad always wanted to run stuff.
Off the farm, Andy was a founding member of the Michigan Turkey Producers Cooperative. He currently serves on the Land O'Lakes Cooperative Region 4 Executive Council and on the board of Greenstone Farm Credit Services.
Beyond just the leadership, I think is so important. He does a great job managing his farm. And he has excellent production results, good financial results that will help him be very viable for a long time to come. Very adaptable. I think he seeks out new technologies to implement when they make good practical sense. And so I think he's just the entire package of leadership and great production skills.
Andy's an avid pilot, cross-country skier, and water skier, and a devoted family man.
Zach being the youngest, he always knew he wanted to farm ever since he could walk and talk. Our older 2 kids, our son Luke and his wife Marissa, they're both engineers, but they're currently doing service work overseas. And then our daughter Holly and her husband, they lived in Little Rock, Arkansas after marriage and moved back to the local area here 3 years ago. All of our kids, they're 6 years apart in age, but they got married within 7 months in 2012. And then starting in 2016, they within 1 year, they all had our first grandchild. So we have 3 grandchildren between 1 and 2 years of age, and the 4th one is now on its way. So he's kind of excited seeing little Sawyer be excited about tractors and farm stuff. I guess our mission is we do our part to help feed our state and country and part of the world. And you know, as little as that is, you know, there's fewer and fewer farms, and we're getting bigger and bigger, so that's important. But the other thing is, you know, as an employer, it's not just my family, but the 10 employees that work for us. You know, it's their families' livelihoods, and the decisions we make affect them as well. So it's important to me to run a quality operation where we can have good camaraderie and compensate everyone fairly, and we have to do a good job to be able to do that.